Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and pearls aren't the only things that these CNN reporters are clutching here. What they had to say about this member of the Department of Government Efficiency, run by, of course, Elon Musk, is absolutely ridiculous. Let's dive in.
Specifically now, your latest story is it focuses on a 19-year-old software engineer working at DOGE, someone whose past associations that you have looked into, such that they are at 19, would call into question passing a background check. Of course, that hasn't happened in these cases, but would normally happen in a case with access like this.
One would hope, yes. So this is a 19-year-old high school graduate who has used the unfortunate nickname Big Balls online. So that would be one way that we could refer to him. He is now working at Musk's behest inside DOGE. And we looked into his background. And so we found several notable things, Aaron, one of which is that this individual has founded multiple companies, including one with another unfortunate name, Tesla.Sexy LLC, which he established in 2021. He would have been around 16 years old. Now, this LLC controls dozens of web domains, a handful of which are registered to Russia. Now, that in and of itself is not necessarily illegal, but every expert we spoke to said that that is exactly the kind of thing, those kinds of foreign connections that would raise red flags on a background check. Now, he also worked at a network monitoring firm that is known for hiring reformed black hat hackers, essentially criminals. And lastly, we uncovered Telegram messages that we've linked to this individual in which that Telegram user is soliciting a cyber attack for hire. So actually looking for someone to perform a cyber attack at their behest.
And Telegram, of course, is heavily used in Russia. I mean, it's a definitional social media platform there.
Of course.
So, Kara, you hear this, and you have known Elon Musk for years. So now you look at these young men who are now in data and in the private information about maybe hundreds of millions of American citizens as young as 19, the big balls here that Katie's talking about. Most of them are in their early 20s. There's an exception I'm going to get to in a minute. I'm curious, though, Kara, how well does even Musk know these young men, do you think?
I have no idea. I think there is no vetting whatsoever, as you can see, that's taken place. It took Katie and the really great team. Wired has done an astonishing job here. I could make a joke that's probably why he was hired for all this ridiculous nonsense and other nefarious things. But, there's an expression in technology that's it's a feature, not a bug. This is what they do. They are careless. I don't believe any bit of them when they say they vetted these people. And they're people that will listen to whatever Elon says and do whatever he wants and thinks it's a ball to do this and very funny. And so they're willing to do things, say, adults wouldn't be willing to do or cross lines that they wouldn't be. He wants these malleable young men in particular in order to do this. And they think it's fun, and it probably is for them, being able to hang out with Elon Musk and take down government agencies for them. And the arrogance is massive and the ignorance is even bigger.
It is truly incredible.
Well, I guess that's one way to describe someone with the username Big Balls as massive and incredible. You might want to watch your phrasing there, CNN. But seriously, instead of clutching your pearls, maybe you should actually educate your audience, if that's even possible. And instead of saying, oh, well, this is obviously such a terrible thing. A 19-year-old who has had experience hacking, which means he actually runs computer code. This guy has apparently a history of actually using his work for good reasons. Okay, there's essentially three kinds of hackers. Okay, there's the kind that do it just for fun. These are your sort of chaos agents. Then there's the kind these are called white hackers. They will actively look into your system and look for weaknesses, and then they'll try to plug that weaknesses or at least make you aware of what all is going on. And then there's your black hackers. These are the people that are weaponized. And even CNN is forced to admit that this dude, and you already heard his username, it's one of the AC/DC's best hidden gems. This dude is actually a reformed hacker. So to be as young as 19 and already good enough to where you've been caught and you have to be reformed, that's actually a good thing. That's what you want as an employee who's going to be looking for weaknesses in systems. That is precisely what you're looking for, particularly when it comes to the Department of Government Efficiency. And forget the fact that it's a bunch of teenagers and young men hanging around one of the biggest autist memers in internet history in Elon Musk. Forget all that for just a moment. What would you rather have? A nice, saintly person who just types in the code that they want, or the kind of person that is out there looking for the exploits, looking for the hacks? That is called forward-thinking vision here, okay? So there's no problem on this side. And instead of focusing on that issue, these CNN panelists are out there saying, he has ties to Russia. Oh my God. He has ties to Russia. We can't work with this man. He obviously is a national security risk. Where was this outrage when we had a literal senile man as the head of state? Okay, where was this outrage when Hillary Clinton quite literally used a private email server that was not connected to the current Pentagon servers and therefore national security risk? Okay, we would appreciate a little bit of candor here. We would appreciate it if you could kind of stick to one story and then stay on target. Okay, is that possible, CNN? Is that just too much to ask from y'all? Seriously, everything when it comes to hacking almost always has ties back to Russia. The Chinese don't have the infrastructure, even though they're trying to steal every kind of secret that we have, both in business and in the private and in the public sector. Russia actually has that access to the internet. They're infamous for having hackers and even troll farms. That did exist in 2016. But because he has Russian ties, that is the perfect little word for these newscasters to throw in there in order to score easy points with their audience. Oh, he worked with Russia? Well, he obviously can't be trusted. No. He didn't even work with Russia. The fact that some servers might have been hosted out of Russia back when he was a private citizen, I don't see that as much of a problem. That kind of comes with the territory when you're writing code, and particularly when you are a bit of a hacker, okay? Now, I can barely code, okay? I'm not someone you want writing programs. My only experience was taking out a few lines of code here so you can actually put the text in here so I can send you these terrible emails back when I was fundraising for Marco Rubio. That wasn't the most fun part of the job, but it was at least interesting. And it validated a couple things that some old friends of mine, because I actually have a couple of buddies that are really good when it comes to coding. And back when the internet was fresh, it was new, before people were really starting to get into it, this dude had the audacity to start writing and hacking code and started joining groups here and there. That's sort of a basic teenagery thing, particularly for young men, and that's sort of a natural process. So these people aren't just clutching their pearls, they're casting them before swine here, talking about things that A, don't make any sense, B, aren't even in the ballpark about what's going on, and C, let's be honest, because the word Russia gets thrown around, that means that you can't trust anything that comes out of Elon Musk and DOGE. How terrible. You know what's terrible? And let's shift gears slightly. Instead of the employee that actually did resign because he was a little too spicy on Twitter, let's bring up Jared May, an assistant media technician at Boston University. Jared called for DOGE employees to be... Okay, I don't like saying that word on YouTube. And Boston University has also received millions of dollars in federal funding. So you quite literally have people calling for the unaliving of a handful of kids whose one job it is to make sure that the federal government isn't wasting your tax dollars. Just think about that for a moment. And CNN, while we're on the subject, maybe, just maybe, you should focus on actual threats and actual problems. Maybe you should report about this dude who thought it was a good idea to post a wanted for treason, dead or alive poster with the pictures of people that work in a government agency. Yeah, that sounds a little treasonous to me, but why don't y'all let me know what you think down in the comments below. And personally, and I want to end on this note, maybe we should start erecting monuments to DOGE. I propose 2 nice slabs of marble, very well rounded, and put them right behind the Washington Monument. I think we should call this the DOGE Monument, and it'll be a testament for all humankind to remember that there was a time when our federal government got so bloated and so big it had to be shrunken for necessary purposes. And that's exactly what Elon Musk is doing. And I, for one, am all here for it and watching them expose just how crazy our media is, our education system is, and of course, how big and bloated and how much shrinkage is needed in our federal government. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. And until then, y'all have a good one.